Hey guys, Mel the Train Shooter back in the corner and back with another product overview for you. And in this product overview we're talking about cutting polystyrene, specifically with Hot Wire Foam Factory. I've tried that so many times. The Hot Wire Foam Factory's tools, okay? Now these guys got in touch with me about 2 months ago and they said, hey, you should really try our tools out. To which I turned around and said, I've had them for years. I mean, I've had their hot wire cutter, their hot wire cutter knife, I've had their engraver, I've had their craft table there. So we had a bit of a chat. It was only the router that I didn't have, so they sent one of those over and they sent some coatings over and a refurbished scroll table for me to have a play with. But the majority of their tools I've been using for years, and I'll be honest with you guys, yeah, up until they sent me some extra bits, their major tool I wasn't that impressed with, to be perfectly honest. But let me explain once we at the bench, so come on over. Okay guys, we're at the bench, we've got their tools, and I want to just do a quick overview of what's here before we delve in deep with the tools. Yeah, as I said, I've been using their tools for quite a while. So before they got in touch with me, I had their hot wire cutter, the hot wire knife and the hot wire engraver, yeah, which all run off this sort of craft power supply. Yeah, and I've had them since Corbin was about 3, so about 7 years. Okay, now on top of that, all their products come with a bunch of information and instructional DVDs, and they're quite interesting. There's loads of bits of tips and stuff in them. Yeah, and as you can see, yeah, looking at these hot wire tools are used for quite big stuff. Now, with regards to what it's used for, I'm going to be talking about using it for, you know, working with, because this is all expanded foam. Yeah, we're going to be talking about using high density foam and, you know, the war gamer side of stuff. But there's an absolute load of stuff and instructional DVDs as well. Okay, now they also come, yeah, when you buy their kits, with these lovely plastic cases. Yeah, they're turquoisey blue. They have Hot Wire Foam Factory, yeah, in gold in them, but it's a plastic case, guys. Yeah, they are handy, but it's a plastic case. Yeah, personally, I wouldn't recommend just buying the case unless you wanted to show off that you've got really nice tools. Okay, now, as I said, we've got the cutter, the knife, the engraver, and we've got the router. Now, I've had these 3 for about 7 years. The router they sent me because I didn't have the power supply, because it has one of these bulkier Pro Crafter power supplies. Yeah, it's a different connector. So, very quickly, yeah, common things about these tools, yeah, they all work off these sort of hot swappable connectors for power. Yeah, so all these 3 will use just one power supply, which is really good. Yeah, when you're crafting, so you're not swapping plugs, okay, or got lots of plugs on the go. Yeah, the other thing is they've all got an on-off switch. Okay, now that's really good. I know it sounds silly, but any sort of system which you require to press a trigger, if you're working for a long time, that's going to fatigue you. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Okay, so that's a big bonus. So, those are the tools that they've pretty much sent me. They have sent me some powder coatings, and they've sent me an old refurbished scroll table to have a play with. Yeah, because I've been playing with their craft table. Yeah, but I'll save that for another video. I haven't even put it together properly yet, guys, or had a proper play. Yeah, so let's talk about these. Right, I've done bits in the studio to show you, yeah, the sort of stuff. Yeah, and I'm going to talk about them as we go. But we're going to work through them tool by tool. Yeah, and I'm going to start with the hot wire foam cutter. Okay, now when I got this about 8 years ago, yeah, I used it for a couple of days, yeah, and then I pretty much like just, you know, discarded it as a hot wire cutter. I didn't like it. Okay, now prior to it I've been using this, which is a Woodland Scenics hot wire cutter. Okay, now remember I was talking about the trigger, the on off. Yeah, this one has quite a stiff push trigger. Yeah, which means if you're doing, I mean, look at that. If you're doing that for, you know, a few hours, it really fatigues you. So the on-off is a big bonus. But the reason I discounted it was, if you look at it, yeah, it's like 2 screws set up onto movable armatures. Now, no matter how tight I tried to do these screws, what I was finding is, as I'm cutting, yeah, they would come together. And then I would be left with a slack wire. Okay, I mean, I tried holding them like that and all sorts, and it was just too frustrating. And I spoke to Shayna at Hot Wire Foam Factory, the lady who got in touch with me about, you know, you should use our tools. Yeah, and I said, look, you know, you can send me them, but I'll be honest, and I'll tell them that, you know, I don't like using this. You know, I immediately fell back to this because it's got fixed armatures, so that wire's always tight. And she said, oh, you need a wire tensioner then. Yeah? And she sent me this, okay? And it's basically a bit of plastic with some grooves in and some holes in. And the grooves sit there, the holes push onto there, yeah? And immediately you've got a constantly taut wire, yeah? And I can say in the past couple of weeks, this has become, yeah, my favourite hot wire cutter. I have stopped using this. Now, one, because of the trigger thing. Two, yeah, look at the width in comparison of cutting. You know, you get an extra third on this, okay? All right, you know, this is a bit thinner, but, you know, you get a better penetration with it. You know, you've only got, say, 3-4 inches penetration with this, but it's not a major biggie when it comes to terrain building. What is a major biggie, okay, is the cutting angle through foam. Okay, now with this one, if you've got a 2-inch piece of foam, yeah, because of the way the armatures are set up, you're pretty much looking at about 45-degree cut. Yeah. Now we know from previous videos that when we do wargaming hills, yeah, for our models not to fall over, they need to be at a maximum of 30 degrees. Okay, so when I was doing them with these, when I was making hills, I'd have to do one cut like that, yeah, another cut like that. I'd then have to take off the peak. Okay, which means 3 cuts to get a 30-degree slope. Yeah, with this one, because of the wider girth, 1 cut. A third of the time to cut hills. Yeah, no brainer, no brainer. Fell in love with it. Okay, so there's not much more I can say about hot wire cutting. You know, here's a quick vid showing me sort of cutting some bits with it. So you can see it's pretty easy to use, etc. You know, it's a good bit of kit. And like I say, that width really does make a difference. Now obviously, you know, if you want to go deeper, you can, you know, remove this, reduce these. There is a shortest length. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's in the videos, you know, power wise, etc. Yeah, watch the videos, you know, it all explains it in there. Yeah, but like I say, yeah, with the inclusion of this wire tensioner, made it immediately my favourite hot wire cutting toy. Yeah, well, actually not my favourite hot wire cutter. Yeah, my favourite one's the knife. I'll explain why. Yeah, but if you're going to get one, I highly recommend, yeah, you get one of these tensioners. They're not expensive, yeah, but they make a massive difference. I mean, literally, I discounted this. Now it's my favourite tool, and the Woodland Scenics is very much a backup one that I'm keeping at home. You know what I mean? That sort of situation. So, that's the hot wire cutter. Yeah, let's move on. The hot wire knife, okay? I really love these. I really love these so much, yeah, that I bought my own second one, yeah? And then when they asked me what tools I had, I lied and I told them I hadn't got it. So they sent me a third one. Now, you'll notice that this one is broken. Yeah, that's because I had one of those Mel moments where I decided, I wonder how much hammer these can take, because I've always been curious, you know, with how much I can sort of hammer these. Yeah, and trust me, they can take some real hammer. It took some real effort to knacker that. And if I bring it up close, yeah, it looks like a wire inside a tube, yeah, that heats this up. Yeah, quite clever. I didn't know it worked like that. I just always assumed that, you know, somehow this was heated up, but I suppose it can't because that will get heated up as well. But anyway, like I say, I really love these. Okay, now the reason that I really love them is because what they allow you to do. Now, I got one of their short ones and I got one of their longer ones, but the longer ones was a bit too long for me, so I cut them down with a pair of pliers to make 2 short ones. And they're basically, for me, they're thick enough to go through 2-inch foam. And the reason being is if you have a sheet of 2x4 high density insulation foam, yeah, trying to cut through it with one of these or one of these is a nightmare, because what you have to do is you have to cut down, yeah, in a channel and pull it out. So you've got room for the actual arms to fit down. Whereas with these, you can just cut straight down. Yeah? It's amazing. Yeah, it really saves time. I mean, you could cut them with a saw, but it makes a hell of a mess. Okay, and obviously with this, it's easy to follow intricate patterns. Okay, so genuinely, I really love these. Now, the other benefit of these is when we did the Broken Spirit build with the roundhouse that I did, yeah, I cut the inside out with one of these. So I could cut a complete circle, yeah, and make a ring of foam that was continuous. Now, I could have come in with one of these, sort of put a cut through the ring and cut out the centre, yeah, pop it out, but that would have left me with a cut seam. And I can tell you now that when you have a cut seam, trying to blend that in when you're shaping it and sculpting it and painting it is a nightmare. Yeah, so although cutting it with one of these may have been 30 seconds faster, yeah, because these cut slightly quicker than these do because it's a thicker wire, so it takes longer to heat up. Yeah, it's probably saved me about 20-30 minutes worth of, you know, troubles hiding a seam. Yeah, now there's another really good benefit of this, yeah, but for that we've got to go back to the studio. Okay, I've made this sort of alcove coming out, yeah, and all I've done is I've cut a piece of polystyrene and I've stuck it onto the end of this beach here. Yeah, now the join isn't perfect, there's some grab adhesive in between, but I really want to firm it up a bit, and this is where this comes in really handy. Not only is it a hot blade for cutting through long sheets, but obviously you can also poke holes into it. So what we can do is we can come along, and if I aim it right, yeah, push a hole into there, yeah, pull it out, yeah, get our PVA. Well, actually, before we get our PVA, I need to measure my hole. Make sure it goes in far enough. Yeah, it does. Right, so take that out to there. About that long, okay. Yeah, I'll stick. Come on, PVA in. Give it a good force in. Let the stick carry the PVA through. Push it in that last little bit. And just use the bottom of the PVA just to push it in. And get a little bit more flood of PVA. Okay, now what that's going to do is it's going to stay out of the way. It's going to physically pin this together. Yeah, which once it's all set will give me a much harder support. Now, you cannot push these things straight through. They'll get so far through before the resistance of the polystyrene builds up to such an extent, you simply can't do it. So, this, brilliant little tool. Brilliant little tool. See, that's a major plus for terrain builders, being able to reinforce awkward structures, overhangs, yeah, to take models. Yeah, you know how much a model can weigh. Something can weigh a pound. Yeah, so being able to reinforce, you know, overhangs, bridges, all that sort of stuff, major plus. Which is why, yeah, I've got to say, I love these. I really do love these. Okay, there's a lot of love in this video. Yeah. Now remember, guys, you know me. Yeah, I always say how I see it, and I'm honest with you. I was honest about this and the changes it's made. Yeah. I'm honest about these. I really do love these. Yeah, I can long after I discounted these, I used these and bought more of them. Okay, yeah. So that's those. Moving on to the engraver. I'm a bit meh with this. Okay, right. For me, yeah, that tip isn't fine enough for doing the sort of engraving work we do, because when it's heated, as you work the polystyrene, it does expand back a bit, and I found if you're trying to do brickwork and stuff like that, you can do quite chunky brickwork, but anytime you get near to the fine stuff, okay, I didn't get brilliant results with this, to be perfectly honest. So this is one of those tools that does stay in the box for quite a while. I'm sure for the guys who are making big, big dinosaurs and stuff like that, it's a great tool. Yeah, for engraving high density foam, yeah, I've got to say, unless you're doing big engraving, you know what I mean, I still recommend using pens, pencils, that sort of thing. Okay, now I think they do finer tips, so I'll have a chat with Shayna to find out if they do finer tips. Okay, check out their website if you really want to go down that route. Okay, but that doesn't mean I've discounted it. Yeah, when I use this, what I typically use it for, yeah, is a touch-up tool for getting into really, really difficult corners and stuff like this. Here, check this video. Yeah? Do you see how I was using it to get into places which were really awkward and that sort of stuff to get to? Yeah? That's what this tool sort of does, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, for me anyway, yeah? So, I don't particularly friggin' love this. Yeah, it's handy at times, but I haven't had much use out of it, guys, to be perfectly honest, in the 7 years I've had it. Yeah? Right, so those are the tools, yeah, that I've had for years, yeah? Yeah? Friggin' love these for ages, not much love for this. Didn't love this until I got the tensioner, okay? So, over to the router, yeah? Holy Anna, oh yeah, I really love this. This is a game changer for me, yeah? For ages, because it requires its own sort of pro power station, okay? And this is, you know, basically it's like a more bigger power adapter, but it's got a dial on. Yeah, now to be perfectly honest, they might as well have just written 11 there for my intention, because all it is up to the max. High density foam, yeah, it's thicker than expanded polystyrene, so we want our tools pretty much as hot as possible, yeah, when we're working with it. But because I had to get another power supply and I didn't think I really needed it, I never went near it, yeah. And it was only when they sent it to me that I fell in love with it. So if I bring it up, all standard features, yeah, hot swappable, but you know, it's a different connector, so it won't work with the craft supply, yeah. Switches and all that sort of palaver as well, yeah. Similar armatures, I'm pretty sure that, you know, those two are pretty much the same handle, yeah, with regards to grips and everything. But it's this wire, okay. This wire you can shape in any way you want. So you want to do wavy wires, yeah. You can do stuff like this, okay? And where this is becoming really important is getting into the foam, yeah? You can't do it with any of these tools and take chunks out, yeah? You can't do it with that because you'd have to cut through the foam, yeah? You can't do it with a hot wire knife because although you could cut the sides, yeah, you couldn't cut the bottom, okay? And there's no way you're going to do it without taking chunks out, but you can cut all sorts of little bits out with this, yeah? You can do like little nibs and use it as, what you call it, sort of a getting in there nibbing tool. Here, I'll check this vid. Back to the studio. Okay guys, I've got the wire router, yeah, and if I just bring it up without snagging anything, you'll notice that I've bent it with a little notch in it, okay? Oh, it's hot. Hot tools. Yeah, the idea is, I've got this D-Day bunker, yeah, I want to recess it into this high density foam, yeah, so I've drawn around it. And by bending it like that, yeah, where are you? There you are. Yeah, by bending it like that, I've got the depth that I want. Yeah, now what I'm going to do is, very quickly, I'm just going to cut in down to where it's roughly where the wire is. Yeah, and use this long edge that I've sort of bent out as the guide for depth. Yeah, always going slowly. Let the wire do the work. And if I grab that, pull that out, yeah, you've got a nice little trough in there. That's going to sit in nicely. Yeah, with a little bit of wedging. Yeah. You can't do this with any other tool. Yeah, there's no other hot wire tool that can do this. Only this hot wire router, or only hot wire routers. You could get a professional router and do it, but I mean, you're talking, what, 60, 70 quid for a decent one? Yeah, and let's be honest, it's a bit overkill for foam. And also, if you tried to do this with your traditional blade, trust me guys, yeah, it would be a nightmare job. So all I've got to do quickly now is just follow around my outline, yeah, and cut this out so I can recess this in. So there we have it guys, yeah, recessed in, yeah, cut out with the hot wire foam router. Yeah, really easy. First I used that first little bend just to sort of get my edges in. Then I made a sort of a bigger, squarer one to sort of flatten it all out. Yeah, and then I sort of made a little probe just so I could go around, clean the corners, sort of make a little bit of a ramp up here. Don't worry about the sort of texture, we'll get some filler in that. Yeah, but that drops in there. It's a tight fit, but it does, you know guys, that drops in there. Oh, have we got a roof? We've got a roof. And that's going to go on there. Bunker ahoy! Do you see what I mean? Yeah, that's a game changer for me. Genuinely, I've fallen in love with this. I absolutely love it. And I'll be honest with you, now I've got the, now they've sent me the sort of power supply and I've got that. Yeah, pretty much that sits, yeah, stayed on. Yeah, and I am hot swapping tools. It's great. I can really get stuck in. Yeah. So, big plus for this. I would say, yeah, that what I'd like, or what I'm tempted to do, and I don't know if they do them, yeah, is perhaps get some of these connectors and get a stiffer wire and have, what you call it, more, because one of the things I found with it, yeah, is it is great, but trying to get a straight wire once it's been bent, yeah, is really, really fiddly and challenging. Yeah, so if you see, I've been straightening out. Do you see what I mean? Yeah, so I think what would be nice is a set of, you know, swappable wires, which are set, you know, with, you know, this will cut a 1 inch chunk out, or a curve, you know. Pardon me, guys. That's something I'm going to have a play with myself, to be perfectly honest, guys. Yeah, and see if I can come up. I don't know if Hotwire Phone Factory do them. I would highly, Shayna, if you, I know you're going to be watching this, yeah, I highly recommend you do it. Yeah, because that was the one downside of this, the fiddling around to get the shapes I wanted. Yeah, when all I wanted to do was quite simple isometric shapes, you know, like cut out a square, that sort of stuff. Yeah, but like I say, absolutely fell in love with it. Yeah, massive game changer. I can't tell you how difficult it is to engrave out a foam. Yeah. Well, to be truthful, yeah, before this came along, I was cutting boards up, cutting the channels out for like a trench works, taking that slip, cutting it thinner, then re-gluing the sort of floor of the trench and the two wall sections back together, yeah, to make it work. Yeah, now it's just, yeah, so absolutely love it, absolutely love it. Yeah, so there you are, guys. That's their tools. Yeah, well, like I say, I have got some of their powder coats and I have got the scroll table, but I haven't even played with those, so I'm not even going to comment. Yeah, tell you what, let's go back for the long shot. Okay, guys, I was getting a bit rambly there, wasn't I? Right, that's the product overview for the Hotwire Phone Factory's crafting tools. Yeah, 3 of them: Hotwire cutter, the knives, yeah, and the router I really love. Yeah, the engraver, I'll be honest with you, for me it's handy occasionally, you know, but I think other people will get far more out of this than I do. Listen, if I am missing a trick on this, yeah, put it in the comments. Yeah, and in fact, if you've got any experiences or any questions on any of this sort of stuff, in the comments, guys. So that sort of winds it up. We are going to be looking at their Hotwire scroll table at some point, once I've figured out how to put it together, and you know, I've had a good play with it, and I've got their powder coatings and stuff like that to have a play with as well. Yeah, but that pretty much winds it up for this video. Yeah, I hope you found it useful. Obviously, like it if you like it, share it if you know anyone who might be interested in these tools, or this video maybe have helped too. Yeah, in the comments, any questions, any experiences, any tips on this, and if I'm missing a trick. And as always, guys, yeah, if you really do like these videos and they help you with your hobby purchasing, if they help you with your hobby in any way whatsoever, or they're just entertaining for you as you watch me ramble along, please consider taking the Patreon $1 pledge. It's only $1 a month, what, 60p, you know, but altogether it gives me the time and the resources to edit these videos, to get the cameras, to get kit, to make tutorials and videos for you guys. Yeah, so it really does make a massive difference to me. So, seriously guys, if you love these vids, yeah, and you know, you enjoy them and you look forward to them, consider the $1 pledge, eh? Right, that's about it for this video. We've got lots of videos coming up, but I don't know what order they're going to come up, so I don't know if you've already seen them or if you haven't, so all I'll say is, there's terrain coming all the time, guys, you know, it's terrain corner. Yeah, if I don't see you in another video in the meantime, I will see you 9 o'clock Sunday night, yeah, on the live show, and we can chat then. See you there, guys. All the best. Ta-ra.